General, a lot of people support General Muhammadu Buhari's aspiration to become the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, if elected as President, what would be your strategies and tactics to ensure a corrupt-free government in the Nigerian society?
Well, we have to start somewhere. I think it's part of the law now that people who occupy public office will declare their assets. I don't think that has been removed since the days of the military administration, especially Murtala Muhammad regime. So all our generation that occupied positions in government have declared their assets. So it's not difficult if subsequent governments were serious about tackling corruption to find out those that became ministers, governors, heads of state, and other strategic, either first starters and so on. The investigation is very easy. So what I would say is that it's a question of implementation of the existing laws.
When I came into Abuja today, one of the taxi drivers, I just asked him a random question. I said, who would you vote for as president? And he said, well, we like General Buhari. He appears to be a transparent man. But his fear, according to him, is that he believes people are saying you have plans to Islamize Nigeria. You've made statements in the past, allegedly, that if you achieve this plan, Nigeria's secularity will be taken off under your presidency. How would you react to that, sir?
Well, that is ridiculous. There is nobody that aspires to Nigerian leadership that he will base his manifesto, let me put it that way, or campaign on religious or even tribal basis. But if somebody wants to be a councillor in a local government, where people are predominantly of certain religious persuasion or ethnicity, then he can afford to do that. But not when you aspire, to any constituency, whether it is House of Assembly, Representative, Senate, Governorship, and excuse me, especially the President of the country, you can't base it on tribalism and religion. Because from the moment you decide that, you have already lost. Because Nigeria, the Constitution of Nigeria is very clear.
So there was no point in time where you made any statement?
No, there was a time my statement was misinterpreted. This was in the year 2000. A certain sheikh from Sokoto who spent 13 years in Saudi Arabia, when he came back home to Sokoto, he wrote a book on Sharia. And he drove all the way from Sokoto to Daura in Kaduna State, my hometown, and asked me to go and chair the launching of the book. I went, and the real personalities of Sokoto were there, including the Sultan then, Machido, and I suspected even President Shagiri was there. So after launching the book, I was asked as the chairman of the occasion to comment. And I was intellectually inadequate to comment on that book because I lacked the depth to really comment on it. And I told, I think I told the audience the truth that I could not comment on the book. But since this is on Sharia, partisan politics will soon be allowed in the country. And Sokoto people know their people. Let them vote for people that will work for them, that will hold trust. And there, this day, within a week also came out with this headline that Buhari said Muslims should not vote for Christians. Now that is ridiculous. The reporter is a Yoruba by tribe. He is a Muslim. He didn't and still doesn't speak Hausa or understand it. He was not in Sokoto. How did he come up about this story? It must have been within the audience. When I decided to go into partisan politics, somebody dug that story and he sent it. This is what happened.
Don't you think it's time for generational change in that the new generation of Nigerians, young people, should take over and become president of this country? That new ideas, in Britain we have a 40-something-year-old Obama in the United States of America.
Yeah, I think there is a number of issues there. Firstly, and most importantly, as far as I'm concerned, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria allows the citizens of this country that are 18 years and above, and there was no limit, to vote and be voted for. So to me, fundamentally, that's the most important thing. So if the Constitution of Nigeria has defined who is to stand for election and made a political party the platform, why should anybody start restricting Nigerian citizens outside the context of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? And if you follow Nigerian history from independence to now, most of the people who led the country or became ministers or something, they were never after 50 years, including myself when I was head of state, including IBB when he became head of state. Not to talk of Gawan, who was 32 when he became head of state. Not to talk of Murtala, maybe Iransi, was 50. But the civilians from Tafawa Balewa to Gawan, to Murtala, to Shagari himself. When Shagari became a minister, he was not up to 30 years old, himself and Maitama Sule and so on. So all this panic about generational change, why should the country be denied experienced people, to participate since it's within the constitutional purview? Why? Let Nigerians decide. That's why our emphasis in our party, the Congress for Progressive Change, is for free and fair election. Free and fair election. Let Nigerians choose.
And you've mentioned the CPS. How were you able to, within a short time, mobilize such a grassroots-based support, especially in the northern part of the country, with the power might of the PDP in place? How were you able to achieve that within a short period of time?
Yeah, this is not a big deal. I joined partisan politics 15th April 2002. From then, I had what is called the Buhari organization. We had an organization which reflects our own philosophy, on real democracy, and social service, social justice. And this, we believe, included internal democracy in the parties. And so far, we operated within 5 documents, the most important one being the Constitution itself. From there, the INEC Act was derived. And one of the important things of INEC responsibilities is to register political association into political parties. And then before each election, there is an electoral act. There is an electoral act in 2002 for the 2003 election. There is the electoral act of 2006 for 2007 election. Now we have the electoral act of 2010 against the 2011 election. This is within which we have to work these five documents. So there is no problem. It's absolutely clear how this polity is going to be conducted. So anybody who did anything outside that certainly is going against the law. And that was why between 2003 and 2008 we were in court for 50 months. But there we are. But it's very clear. There's no ambiguity about the processes of democratization in Nigeria.
Finally, General, 2 questions here. The first question will be, do you miss General Tunde Idiagbon? And what will be the message you have for Nigerians as it relates to our 50 years independence anniversary?
Well, firstly, I miss a loyal friend and a colleague, a very competent, tough, hard-working, intelligent person. Very, very loyal indeed. I think the country lost him, not only me alone. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Secondly, you talked about
50 years.
50 years of independence. It's very disappointing. The most disappointing aspect of it is the leadership of the country. Up to now, nobody has come near the first set of pre-independence leadership. That's the first republic. Subsequent leaders, none of us, because I'm one of them, are near that first set as far as competence is concerned. I think this competence was brought about by commitment. If you look at what happened in the First Republic under the Prime Minister, Sahara Reporters, if you see what they did in the regions, in the West, Chief of Fumi Aolo, education, social services, in the Eastern region, and then the North, the vast North, under the Sardana, their education, agriculture, agro-based industries, the textiles, the oil mills, you see, how they managed the country was very, very weak revenue base. You see, but they started the infrastructure, education, how they continue to improve the railways. If you could recall, I think from Bauchi to Maiduguri, extension of the railways and so on. And at least they were being efficiently run. Power was adequate relative to the requirement of the industries of that time and so on. And you try to compare it with what happened and the amount of money we realize. As I said so often in other places, we don't have railways now, we don't have airways, we don't have shipping line, virtually we have no electricity. Consequently, there is collapse of education, of industries, lack of employment, hence crime in the cities, and so really, it is very, very disappointing. The only thing we have is that we have managed to remain one country, but otherwise, the institutions virtually have collapsed. No social services, education now. People can hardly afford to educate their children. People don't have adequate health care. They don't even have drinking water. It's terrible.
Thank you very much, General Muhammadu Buhari. We wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.